Welcome friends. In this video, I will be showing you what are the steps of that kind of test which we should be performing on the sales data or a purchase data which we have received for the purpose of VAT audit. This is specifically applying to MVAT audit or a Maharashtra VAT audit in India. We'll be looking at how to create a party-wide summary from the data generated. Then we also look at month-wide summary data for those details which we have taken it from our Tally or kind of a SAP from whatever the software which you are using. And then there are certain issues which you may be facing in the data which you have received from the software. So let us move on to the second tab where I have kind of a dummy data. This is specifically for the purchase data for one of the legal entities, and the names which I have put up over here, these are kind of a randomly names which I have taken it from the BSc as such, and the TIN numbers are kind of a random numbers which I have generated. So this is completely like kind of a dummy data which I have manually prepared up. So let's look at the fields which we are having in this dummy data. The first one is like entry date on which the invoice was entered for a given purchase item. Then the supplier name, TIN number, voucher type we are having, invoice number, invoice date, gross total of the entire invoice, base amount considering 12.5% and the VAT of 12.5%. Similarly for 5% VAT and base amount, then packing charges and other non-taxable amount in a given invoice. Now if you look at the TIN field over here, you can see that there are certain cells which are blank. So we are assuming that for this particular entity we don't have a TIN number. So when we are preparing kind of our summary from this data, we will require those parties should be captured separately as such. So let us start creating a PO table out of this. The basic data which we have received, it can be converted directly into table which currently I have over here, or it can be directly into the raw data as such. So let us go to insert tab and click on PO table. Now in the select table range, if you have already converted the basic raw data into table, it will automatically select the entire range. In case it is not in the table format, you can just click on this icon and then select manually the data by Ctrl Shift right arrow key, Ctrl Shift down arrow key. So it will select the entire data over here. Once you are done, select the new worksheet and click OK. So it will create a new tab for a PO table. Now we have this PO table fields over here. Instead of directly clicking on this checkbox, I would highly recommend you to manually drag and drop the fields into each of the region over here, PO table region. So let us select the supplier. Keep your mouse button clicked only. Don't release it unless and until you drop it over here in the rows section. Then move on to the TIN. Drag it and drop into the rows section over here. Now for base amount, just drag and drop. Similarly for VAT amount, just drag and drop it over here. Just dragging and dropping over here, and cross total the final amount. So we are done with this. So let us put and close this PO table fields. Now if you see on the screen, the TIN number is coming just behind the name of the entity over here, but I want just against that particular legal entity, so it should be in a tabular format. So select any of the cell within the PO table and go to design tab or design tab in the ribbon over here. Go to report layout, just click on that drop down icon and click on show tabular format. Then go to subtotals option and show do not show subtotals over here. So now you can see that our PO table has formatted appropriately for all the sum of base amount, VAT amount, 5% and 12% and gross total as well over here. So we have almost done with the first step over here, party wise creation of summary over here. Now second step over here, I want to show the entities which does not have a TIN number separately. Then I want to sort out the top 100 parties or 500 parties, whatever the count you want, that should be sorted separately. And the third thing is the base sales amount and VAT amount columns separately. So I would require to have a total of this base amount for 12.5% and 5% base amount as a separate field over here, and similarly for the VAT amounts as well. So let us start creating a group for the entities which does not have a TIN number over here. Click on this drop down icon in the teen field, unselect this and press End key on your keyboard, select blanks and click OK. So it will just filter out all the entities which does not have a teen number. Select all of them, right click and click group. So this group will be created over here. Just double click so that the column width are adjusted. Now here you can just replace this name group 1 with parties without tin. Done. Now let us release this filter over here. Done. And now parties without tin, select that and right click, go to move option and select move parties without tin to end. So it gets drilled down directly at the end over here. Let us now freeze the cells over here with Alt W F freeze panes so that your heading remains constant even if you scroll down a little bit within the sheet itself. Now the next thing, I would like to have a top 100 or a top 500 or top 1000 entities considering the sum of gross total over here. So let us sort this data based on the sum of gross total over here. Select this supplier over here, select more sort option, go to descending and then select sum of gross total over here. So now you can see that the parties without tin have just got sorted at the top. So let us select the other parties over here, the top ones, and let us scroll down a little bit till whatever the numbers you want it to have. Okay, so let us select the top 100 parties over here by pressing shift and page down. You can see the count over here at the status bar. Once you have selected the top 100, just right click them and click group. So now you can see that this group is created at the top 100 parties. Done. And now you can group the remaining party. Just select all of them with Ctrl Shift down arrow key, right click, group it. So now the third group is also created. So let us rename them other parties over here. Done. Now you can go to your design tab or analyze tab and collapse field over here. So now you can see that above other parties, top 100 parties and parties without tin total is showing on the screen over here. Let us format these fields a little bit by right clicking a particular cell over here and select number format. Let us select the accounting over here. No. Same way let us do it for other fields as well. I'm just repeating the same steps which I've done for the first one. Okay, it's almost done now. The last field over here, accounting. Okay, done. Now I wanted to have a total of this field and this field in a separate one, same way for a VAT. So select any of the cell within the pivot table and go to analyze tab and select calculated field over here. VAT amount, let us give it a name. And now just in the formula bar delete that 0 and select the base amount, click insert field, then press the plus sign and then go to sum of base amount 5% over here and click insert field, click add. Okay, so you can see that the total of this has come up over here. Same thing, and same way let us do it for VAT amount. One more time, let's create VAT amount for tax. That the first one was for the name, you can give it as per your wish. I'm just giving it tax in brackets as an identification, saying that VAT amount is for the base amount and this is for the tax amount over here. So now let us select VAT 12%, then press plus sign, then go to 5%, insert field, click add. Okay, so you will have that both the fields over here coming over here. So let us format this as well. Accounting. Okay, done. You have this entire thing ready over here, the summary which you wanted to create. So this is the first three things which we have already created up, both of this. Even the second one, party name and TIN are not coming in same row. That is for the tabular format which we have seen when the TIN numbers were coming just below the party name. So that we have created. The third thing which is for the month wise. So let us right click over here and click show field list. Let us now remove this supplier name, both the fields over here, and TIN name as well. Let us remove all of them. And now you can see in our base data we have two fields as a dates over here. So one is for entry date and another is for invoice date. So we can have a month wise summary on both of these fields over here or either one of them. So let us as of now select the entry field and drag and drop that into a rows region over here. So you will have the dates coming into the rows. Select any of the cell within this, right click, click group, and this window will open up. Now select months as well as year by pressing Ctrl and then years, click OK. So you will have a month-wise summary as well over here based on the data which you have received. So this is for 2013, starting from Jan to December, all the base amount for 12.5 as well as for 5% over here, and the entire VAT amount as well as the tax amount over here. So this is the third thing which we have created. Now we have certain issues from the data which we get it from the software. So first thing is like some of the fields may get stored as a text over here. So now this is the similar data which I have got generated on a dummy basis, but there are certain issues in this data which we will be identifying and rectifying it. Let us identify the first issue, which is kind of a numbers stored as text in the data generated. Now you can see on your screen that this particular number over here, it is being aligned on the left hand side of the screen, and others numbers over here are aligned on the right hand side. So whenever you see a number which is on the left hand side, it is straightway, it means that it has been stored as a text in an Excel. And whenever you do any kind of a formulas or a pivot tables, that number is not considered actually as a number but as a text. Just to give an example over here, let us select these two cells, and if you see the sum of both of them, it is still showing as 11,896. It is not considering this 11,722 in that total over here for sum. So similar way, you can see that few of the cells over here are stored as a text over here. Same way over here as well. So to convert these numbers into actual numbers, we will have to do one kind of a trick. Just select any of the cell and press 0 over here. Select that cell and press Ctrl C. Now go to your amounts field, which are all of them. Select all those fields with Ctrl down arrow key, Ctrl Shift down arrow key, and then press Alt ES for paste special. Select add and click OK. Done. Now if you see some of the fields which were blank, even there also 0 has been added over here. So that is also important in creation of a pivot table. If you create a pivot table directly out of this dummy data, and if you put the fields over here in the value region, you will be get by default as a count option. So not to have that count option by default in pivot tables, you will have to insert 0 into the blank cell. So that has been already done with this option which we have done of adding 0 to all the cells over here. So now you can see this number has got converted into actually a number, and now if you see the total of both of these numbers, it is coming as 23,618. So this way you can convert the numbers which have been stored as a text into numbers as such. So this we have done. And the next one was for instead of sum of the count was showing up over here, that will also get rectified if you add all the zeros over here. So this is done. Now if you create a pivot table out of it, it will come properly the same way. Let us create a pivot table out of this. Okay, so now if you put suppliers, same way like for TIN numbers we don't have as of now. So let us put the base amount over here and VAT. I'm not going to put all the fields over here because we have already seen in the first example. So this way you can create the pivot table, and here by default sum will come because the reason there are no blank cells, and that has been added 0 into those blank cells. So by default sum will come always. So now here the next thing which we have is getting the tin numbers over here. So in the base data which we have got here, we don't have a tin numbers, so probably we will have to bring those tin numbers with the help of VLOOKUP function. So let us move to the tin numbers tab over here. Before that, the party name is coming twice and few parties are showing more than 2 tin or more than 1 tin. I will be explaining on these 2 points after this tin numbers issues only. Let us move on to the tin numbers tab over here. So now here you can see that it is the list which has the supplier name and the tin numbers against them, and we want to bring all these tin numbers over here in the pivot table summary which we have created. Now these tin numbers can be in the same file or in a separate file other than this, and you can use this VLOOKUP function over here. So before using a VLOOKUP function, let us do some kind of a sanity check on this list, whether we have a duplicate numbers, whether these tin numbers are correct or not, whether those tin numbers are having all the 12 digits or something. So let us start up with the length of this tin number. So let us type over here length. For calculating the length, we are using len function, len. It will calculate the number of characters in this cell. Just type len, press tab and select that tin number field and press enter. Automatically all the cells will have that formula copied down. If you have this list converted into a table, you don't have to manually copy all of them. So now let us see in the filter how many fields which we have over here. Now you can see that 11, 12 and 13 are coming over. Let us filter down the items with 11 over here. So now here you can see these tin numbers are not having V at the end, which is a requirement. So now since these are hardly like 8 items over here, but if there are more than 8 items, it would be really time consuming entering V at the end for each of the numbers. So there is a shortcut what we can do it over here. So let us select this entire cells over here and now press Alt semicolon so that only visible cells are getting selected. So now press is equal to and select this cell, press Shift 7 so that and is inserted. Within double inverted commas, type V and now press Ctrl Enter. So it will get added at the end. So now select the tin field over here, again press Alt semicolon and now is equal to okay. Before that, let us convert this all the cells into values, otherwise it will be a kind of a circular reference over here. So we have converted all of these cells into values, so no more there are formulas over here. Now select this tin numbers and press Alt semicolon is equal to select this cell and press enter over here. Now you can see that all of these numbers, tin numbers, are having 12 digits and we have added at the end. This way you can save a lot of time if there are more than 8 items or a significant number of items where it doesn't have V at the end. So now let us unfilter this, convert this entire values, Alt ES, Ctrl C and paste special those as values over here. So now let us move on to the next one, which is for 13. Let's see what are those items over here. Oh, okay. Now if you see, this tin number over here is absolutely correct, but there is a space in between the number and V. Again, that will be considered as invalid number when you upload that data into a sales tax site over here or a VAT tax. So let us remove all of them. Press Alt semicolon so that only visible cells are selected. Now press Ctrl H. It will take you to Find and Replace tab. In Find tab, just press space bar a single time, and within Replace, don't type anything or not even press a space bar. Now click Replace All and you can see that our tin numbers have got replaced now and the space bar has got deleted. So now if you filter it out and see, all the tin numbers are having a 12 digits. None of them have less than 12 digits and everything. So now next step which we will be checking up is kind of a duplicates over here. So let us select these tin numbers and go to conditional formatting, within the highlight cell, select the duplicate values and select duplicate light red, click OK. Now you can see that some of the cells have been changed over here. So let us filter with the colors over here with the drop down menu under tin field. Click this cell. Now you can see that some of the fields over here having the duplicate tin numbers. So let us select all of them and copy paste just below that, press Ctrl V. Okay. So now let us type a name over here as a field name and tin. Okay, let us hold them and sort on the basis of tin number by pressing Alt DS. Tin is selected, values A to Z. Okay. So now you can see this list has got sorted on the basis of tin numbers over here, and you can see some of the entities are having the correct tin numbers, but there is a difference in the name. Like Bharat Forge is having a limited over here and LTD nothing over here. So probably we will have to change this over here and delete the duplicate fields. So let us copy this over here, copy paste. Same way do it for others as well. I will pause video for this and will come back when I have just copy pasted all of them over here. Okay, now you can see that on my screen I have just copy pasted the names against the names which I want the correct ones in this particular list. So before that I will also have to change those names in my ledgers over here. The data which I have generated have the old names only. So probably if I am going to change in this list, I will also have to change in this list. So as of now I will just directly go over here and type a VLOOKUP function. Just press is equal to and then start typing VL. This VLOOKUP will come, press tab. Now the first option, which is for a lookup value, you will have to select what value you need to look up. So I'm selecting this name of the entity, press comma. The second one is for table array, for which I will go to my tin numbers list and will select this entire region over here. Okay, so before that let me stop for and unfilter this, the tin numbers list which I have already filtered. Okay, now let's go back to our pivot table which we have created and start typing VLOOKUP. The second option is for table array. Let's select this and press Ctrl Shift down arrow key so that entire stuff is selected. Now start typing 2 and then 0, press enter. So you will have a tin number completely pulled up on this list. You can copy this formula just down so that you will have tin numbers for all of them over here. So this way you can just pull in the tin numbers in the summary where you don't have kind of a tin numbers in the raw data itself where you have generated. Now coming back to our issue of this duplicate list over here. So these are some of the duplicate names which we have identified, and probably we will have to replace in this our tin list. So let us do a VLOOKUP function again over here as well. Select VLOOKUP. Okay, then select this particular data where we have typed in the names, press F4, comma 3 because the data which we have typed over here is in third column, press enter. Some of them will have an error since not all of them have a duplicate entries. So select all of them and then just copy paste this formula just below for all of them. Once you have this entire column selected, press Ctrl G, go to spatial. Within the formulas, uncheck numbers, text and logicals, click OK. So the only errors fields are selected, press delete. Now you can replace this fields over here. Asian Paints Limited, you can just copy paste over here. So let us first convert this all the details which we have received into values over here. Click OK. Okay, we have selected all of them. Now let us select this entire stuff by pressing Shift and page down key. Select this, Ctrl G, Alt S, select blanks. Okay, now press Ctrl 9 so that rows get hidden and only the relevant rows are getting copied over here. So probably you can just copy and paste this over here as a paste values. The same way you will have to do it for all of these values over here. So I will just pause my video and come back when I have all these values copied over here in each of this cell. Okay, now I have copied all the details from this results which I have taken up to this fields over here. And for the Bharat Heavy Electricals, you can see that over here in this below list, I have the same TIN number appearing for these two parties. So in a way, I have actually incorrectly entered the details for Bharat Heavy Electricals, which should have been this, the last digit instead of 3, it should have been 9. So I have just got that from the VLOOKUP function and I copied that into this Bharat Heavy Electricals field. So once I have all of them, I will unhide the rows which I have done. So for that I will go to format, hide, unhide rows. So I have the rows, all of them selected now. Now it is time to remove the duplicates over here. So let us select this entire table and go to data and click remove duplicates, select all of them and click OK. So now you can see that there are 10 duplicate values which has been removed out of the entire list which we have. So this way you can just filter down the duplicates also over here. So what we have covered, this 12 digit numbers, tin space and ending character with the V over here. So let us filter that out. Now party name coming twice in PO tables and few parties are showing more than one tin over here. So now you can see this, if you this tin list over here and just sort this based on the supplier name. You can see that for few of them, let me scroll down a little bit. So now over here, now if you see this two legal entities, most of them seems to be the same, the names Colgate Palmolive Limited and Colgate Palmolive India Limited. However, in our list they are showing as a two different tin numbers. So probably you will have to manually check them whether those are the two separate entities or it is the one same entity and we have inputted the wrong tin number. Same way you can see it for Cipla over here. As of now, I have the only option of looking all these items as a on manual basis only. I don't have any other options or any other trick to identify those kind of stuffs. So probably if you know anything, just post on the YouTube. The main reason behind having this kind of issues is like incorrectly entering that into our database itself at the start. So probably you will have to look at them at the entering stuff itself when you create a ledger for a party over here. So that's done. Okay, now tin number starting with 27 over here. So now if you see within our tin numbers, all of them starts with 27. So if something is not starting with 27, probably you will have to filter it out with the custom filter. Then does not begin with, select that and press 27. So you can see that none of them are not starting with 27. So we don't have any issues as of now. So you can just filter it out with does not begin with to check whether all the tin numbers are beginning with 27 or not. Now the next step is identifying any of the duplicate transactions over here. So now here you can see that we have a transaction date. So basically what I'm trying to say, are there any transactions which are duplicate? I know nowadays most of the softwares have inbuilt functions where the duplicate entries or duplicate vouchers can't be entered, but something like a Tally or somewhere else you can enter some of the duplicate entries. So probably we will be checking a duplicate transaction on the basis of supplier name, invoice number and invoice date and gross total. We will be combining all these four fields and check for the duplicates function. So let us insert a field over here, duplicates. Okay, so let us select this, press shift and AND. Now let us combine this. I'm just pressing a pipe so that the fields which I am capturing are separated correctly. Okay, let us select this invoice date and the last one should be the invoice amount over here. So I am selecting that as well. Okay, done. enter. Now you can see all of these 4 fields have been combined in this particular field over here. So now with the help of the duplicate options which we have seen under conditional formatting, you can check out whether there are any duplicate entries over here. Okay, so let us filter it out, and you can see that there are certain entries which are duplicate transactions. So let us filter them out. So here you can see that some of the entries are duplicates, absolute duplicates. VSNL having the same amount, same everything. So these are the duplicate entries which has been posted to ledgers. So you should be deleting that while testing this. This way you can combine either of the 2 fields or 3 fields or number of fields which you want, and you can identify the duplicate entries over here. As of now we have combined the 4 fields. You can combine 3 or 2 or whatever numbers you want, and then use the duplicate function over here. This is the same thing which I am talking about for a different vendor. So this is done. And finally, how do I check whether the classification is done correctly or not for all the entries entered? So what do I mean from that? So something, if you are entering 12.5% as a base amount, the VAT should be at 12.5% correctly for the same thing. And similar way for 5% over here. So here you should be having kind of a 5% of this 5,000. So it should have been 250. How do I check for all of the transaction at one go? So you can just use our normal function over here. Select this and multiply by 12.5. Okay, something went wrong. Let me delete this and select the base amount and multiply by 12.5%. So you can see that this is the number which I am getting, but the actual number which I was getting is this, and there is a difference of 250 rupees. So it means that 250 rupees has been posted over here in 5% instead of 12.5%. So let us check it for 5% as well. Okay, it should be 250. And what is the VAT amount? So you can see that this is something which is incorrectly pasted over here. So I will just type 12.5% difference 5%, and the same thing over here, difference. So let us keep it bold and now copy this entire stuff, this formula below, Control V. So now you can put a filter over here by pressing Control Shift L. Let us increase the width, and you can just filter items with the difference column over here which are more than or something not equal to 0. So you can clearly see that there are approximately 978 invoices where the classification has been done incorrectly. So this way you can cross check your data. Same way for 5% as well, you can just filter it out which is not equal to 0 with the drop down icons over here. So let us select this. If something is 0, it means that there is no difference. For 5% there are almost 1000 entries which have incorrect classification. So that's the last thing which I wanted to talk about this. Thank you. Post your questions on YouTube.